So it's a very, like you have left and right wing here, and overall it's much more to the left over in Australia. And I don't know if you would say like socialist or whatever, but the government is a lot more involved. And for example, like we had like the American Healthcare Act passed, but there it's kind of just been ingrained in their culture that if you're an Australian citizen, then you get like free healthcare. And so I had Australian companions that would just go up and like they had their card, and they just give it to the doctor and not pay anything for a medical visit. And that has like pros and cons, and you have like longer waits sometimes to have surgery and all this. You have all this debate, and whether or not it's good for here, I don't know. But I had never really met an Australian that was like unhappy with how healthcare was. They all like loved it and would talk it up. Like I said, the government a lot more involved. I know missionaries would like get like go on the dole while they were on their mission, so they would like file for unemployment. Like this is Australian missionaries, and I think a few New Zealand missionaries would do it as well. But so they would like file for unemployment while they were on their mission, and then get like a monthly stipend from the government that would just go into like their saving account back home, and so they'd go home having made like a fairly decent amount of money just from being unemployed on their mission. So there's like, I don't know if that would, you can maybe figure something like that out here in the U.S., but I think it's a lot more common for people to take advantage, and whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know, but they would for sure take advantage of the government programs a lot more than I feel like it's culturally common here in the U.S. The other benefits, I'd just say as a whole, Australians are a lot more laid back than people are in the U.S. They're not in overall as big of a hurry. They're just laid back, but they're also, I would say, and this is going to sound negative when I say it, but I don't mean it to be. They're a lot more almost rude. For example, when you walk into a store here, most of the time you're greeted and asked if there's anything you can do for help, or anything they can do to help you. And there, it's not like that at all. You like walk into a store, and if you need help, then you go find somebody to help you, and they'll help you. But it's not like they're at the front door waiting for you to come in. People, like when you go knock on their door, it seems rude at first that they'll just like tell you to go away. But you start, I don't know, at least for me, I stopped seeing it as rude and just started seeing it as like they don't want you, like they don't want to waste your time. They don't want to waste their time, and so they'll just kind of tell you to go away. And it seems rude, but it's just that's what they think, and that's what they tell you. And so I think it's culturally just a little bit different than we are here, where somebody comes and knocks on your door, and even if you don't really want them there a lot of the time, then you'll like find a roundabout way to tell them to go away and not be as abrasive about it. And so that's just kind of a few differences in culture. Also, kind of another thing, there's Aboriginals, like native Australians. There's a big push to try, and a lot of them are in kind of slums, and they drink a lot, and there's a pretty big push in the government to try and get them back incorporated into society. So that's kind of an issue that they're trying to deal with over there. I feel like even a little bit more than we are with Native Americans here, even though it's some of the same issues that are common to both groups of people. The school there is handled, and they have their public education system, but it's actually interesting. A lot more people send their kids to private schools, and so that's, I feel like it's kind of big here in Utah to send your kids to private or charter schools, but it's a lot bigger there. I think that in general, though, Australians they're very positive about living there. They enjoy the benefits that they have. They don't mind paying higher taxes most of the time. I mean, you get the politics there too, but like they get more vacation time, I feel like, a lot of the time than we do here, and they get more benefits from the government than we do here. I'm not exactly sure what the minimum wage there is, but a lot of the base wages are quite a bit higher. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're working at McDonald's, you're probably making $15 an hour, or at the movie theater, like $20 an hour. So it's a lot different, and the cost of living is higher, but you get more money and you can manage that more how you like. Then again, to go to the movies, it's like $18 to $20, whereas it's $8 to $11 here or whatever it is. But it's a lot of things like that are almost twice as expensive than they are here in the U.S.